have your pitch. For pitch, I believe it was.
Here, the weight of the boot plate is enough to sideload the anchor, so it kind of is visible. So this is the forward white line. This is the aft white line. Okay.
Do you have to hold it, or you just hit it and you're good?
It should be good as long as you hit it and move forward enough. It's on the inside, some of those seals that can load the mechanism. So this is what part of what makes it so difficult is we most of the time don't know that it's going to be a problem before we get there. So to remate structurally, just push forward, check for your forward white line. Remember on this stuff.
And probably an obvious question, but like angle doesn't matter on these? Or
Depends on your work site.
Yeah.
There are some work sites where if you have the bail rotated in a certain way, you'll hit structure more.
Right. Everything looks concentric, or
when you're doing your inspections for FOD, you're looking for no FOD.
No FOD.
The D10 button is fully installed. This can be rotated.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
So a sleeve on the inside of it that we don't actuate. It's got its own spring internal to it. So what we're trying to do is kind of free up that. Made the QD, so that's just going to be getting into position, pull back on the release ring, demate. So you guys remember how last time we talked about maneuvering if you are off to your side, your swing arm or BOT will make you have to be almost completely vertical, like on the inside. Walk your feet all the way down. That's a great time to ask your UB2 for help. Be like, hey, can you see my feet? That should be pretty gear one. So take a look at the UIA. Our UIA has switches for you to do like halfway rolled out and you stop. Do your tethers and they take you all the way out.
Yeah. Right. See you again.
See you too.
Yeah. Good morning.
No, you got it all. You got it all.
Cool. So I think the big thing today is buoyancy. You guys have taught me that because of my body type, I have that snap back. So as we're going through
And then I'll give a level off and also
principle and outlet, hey, back to one of them, right? But you guys are already
good at that. But we found out we just like can't really fit like super pads in there. Like the hood is already like on stitching the side. So if we need to go back to a different, we can change it to the volume standard for like your room for or if you find your really chest heavy. Yeah, if I need like a lot of stuff up here.
okay. No, that's good. The other thing that I thought was kind of odd is when we go over to do the IEA,
I already have kind of like
where I
shoulder
come
reach.
pull one side and a snake, so I'll see how this goes today. Yeah, I put it way out. Last time it was like, all right, yeah, you got it.
I can be good at that.
Have you done that before?
That's another good way to say it, yep.
So right, you might have just checked it. Just pull it down still maybe.
Usually I'm here for like 10 minutes. You guys crushed it. Oh, yeah.
Have
Yeah.
to. Yeah. I'm gonna snap it on there for you.
Yeah, do you mind? Yeah.
And you can grab
Adjust it
the
so I
tab.
can see. Yes, sir. So I'll do my mic.
You can choose mechanism and head position. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Oh, you're good now? Good. I was hot. I turned it off.
Well, give me the finger guns when it's your turn to do something, okay?
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Denise, if you're stuck anywhere, just let me know, okay?
If it's a little forward, it'll definitely slide back. Really? That's probably the right answer.
some, and then everything else is there.
All right, Denise, I'm going to start off in the back and work my way over your nose, okay?
Here, but there's quite a bit of hair back there.
Looks good. Okay. We good? Yep.
No mysterious leaks.
No, thank God. Canada.
Like just the eyeballs.
We also have when I train my crew, I train them how to operate this latch without a procedure. Just hook this so it doesn't go floating away.
Yeah, just stick it to one of the airlock.
You can't tether this to close that door. That's how the screw works, by the way.
Why, thank you.
Yeah. So those the switches there, you have power switch, it turns the safer on. The test mode, unless it sees that test mode on twice. Part up, that's a pitch.
Makes sense.
And so if you look, is to figure out, how much input you need to get a certain yaw speed. The hand control module works. So go ahead and power that off, and we'll talk about the latch and mount the safer while those guys are in the suit.
Okay.
Just-
That's what happened when they came out and then they went to
Yep.
the, because I saw it there.
We'll mount the safer onto the Bliss, and then we'll get in the VR environment and do some flying. Center of thrust is designed to be very close to the center of mass of an astronaut.
Oh, there's a
There is a
screwdriver.
screwdriver associated with, on the T-handle associated. When you fold these towers, the short hinge is the
That's
one that folds
first.
first.
Otherwise, it's self-correcting.
That's right, it is. We're gonna have a step in the procedure to verify that your safer handles are down.
Okay.
The NVL, take this pin and just
Get
enough
it started.
into
yeah.
the tray and then hold the door closed and put it down. And how to stow this, because if that happens to your buddy, you're gonna have to
You
go
can
over
do
there
it
and
in-
they can't stow their own hand control. And the striker plates are those plates right there where it interfaces.
You just get-
And that center one is where that latch actually interfaces. Spacesuit, you can't tether yourself to structure while you have the safer on for that.
Yeah.
It's just for IV use only to make.
Sort of, right now, it's like, kind of whichever, like
It is. And the TAF is kind of predicting.
1-4.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
southeast. So I think it'll be not working, but also Happy's for 1-5. Okay, sounds good. We'll head down. What have you been up to? Staying busy.
Looks like we're documenting you guys quite a bit these days, so.
They'll tell us maybe a weekend.
Alright. What's weird is, like, I didn't know they were gonna do another. I didn't either. Oh, it was so much fun
really
though.
good. Like food, sometime whenever we've got like not other weekend plans. It's awesome. You don't have to be particularly athletic. Lubbock is also right next to there, so.
Yeah.
I went to school there, but I've never flown in there.
We could try.
Have you flown into Loop before?
No, I've been to Davis Mountain.
It's a little higher than the 30s. Goes back down, it's like, it's not that far. Here's the map page over here.
safer flight rules exist on how much mass you have to have inside the safer before you can go outside, in such a manner that it will have the effect of less than one fail-on thruster.
Okay.
Right, so it will relieve that EMU. We'll see how all that works a little bit later on. Power it on, it prevents that valve from firing.
Gotcha.
And it's just a little, it's got a little knurled, I think that's EVA. You don't want it to be inhibited, right? You want it to actually fire. So we remove this inhibitor, plugged in, we close the door, and conveniently there's a screwdriver
Oh, nice.
Thumb loop is designed for your gloved, EMU gloved hand to come up through there like this, and to be able to grab on in front for control. The ball detents interface with that.
When you have your fingers here, is it actually doing anything like besides? Okay, so it's not like you have to have your fingers back there. Okay.
The Safer is designed with a consistent center of mass, right? So if you have a long lane, I think that hard stop kind of got it in between positions, so I went back to the previous 90. Okay. If you look at that, be interested about it, just do it naturally the way you did it, and we'll get there. And then, just for your awareness,
Switch power off.
yep. And that has to, you know, proficiency.
So I think big things today, translations. Bridget already brought it up, but as ED2, I'm going to be going underneath lab 1. And the same thing, I'm going to get them in a good config, I'm going to get myself in a good config, and then I kind of put their waist tether over my arm and kind of keep them close as I go, probably from a pull perspective. I'm still contemplating whether I should go past it. I would like to, but I don't think I'm going to fall off. I got to find a happy medium, I think, how tight I want it to be. And I may end up putting a little bit of a band in here. Okay, you do. Like, there we go.
How was it?
It was good. Good.
Nice. Good job, Luke. Getting there.
Made it.
All right.
Arms on and a breathe.
Got it.
Touch your back. I breathe and it's like pressure, max pressure. But it works out really well as it stretches. Should work on a little while better.
I'll let you do his first.
I think he's good.
Oh, he's good?
Yeah, we got it on there. I have extra tricep pads today, so maybe.
Especially because you will wear glasses if you want to try them. So the Mark Van de High method is having people kind of like, it's like you're bracing up like in the military, like tuck your chin up and back to make the back of your neck long, and it kind of tucks your nose and glasses out of the way. And then once you're past that like magical middle point where you know your cups are through, you tilt your head back.
Okay.
It's just something worth trying. And then the Sonny Williams pro tip is to push your own ear cups in.
And then we'll pop it off and we'll engage this. And this is going to go over the buckle, okay?
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we did that much.
Perfect, yeah. Very good. That keeps it from irritating, keeps it from slipping. But the more you're talking and whatnot,
So is there any whether sit up there?
I mean, we can put one on there if you want. Thank you. Okay. Okay. So take like you hold both of them like this and kind of use your fingers to their face. Yeah, very good. Yeah.
If you need it loose, we can
make sure you're going straight. Right now.
Nice. No, Roger.
Oh yeah, much better. This goes.
There you go. Work it over the back and then watch over. He's going to go ahead and hit the back and come over the front of his glasses like this. Rotate down over his glasses. Perfect. Watch his oh, there you go. Very good. Okay. And then he comes bounce out. You're going to touch that. Come straight down the drink bound. Very good. And then land it down. All the way down. Use these right here.
Yeah. There you go. How's that? You in there? You good?
Rubio. Yeah. That was very challenging.
I was so glad I fought Reagan on that run.
Hold up. Clear? Going down. Come in.
Allows us to take those two PGTs and use them. So, because you can see right here with this unit, if you want to review that beforehand, but I have confidence we can just go through the steps today. Alright, and now we are going to inspect the tower latches for any damage. So again, very similar. And at this point in time too, we are going to make
It's just like kind of half
after, yeah, exactly. And you're not sure that you recess the tower. You just want to make sure that the lock one is flat. Okay. So you can slide. Alright. And then you disconnect the bliss from the speaker tower. So again, I'll be 1G if you want to take the bliss away. Got it, perfect. Really funky. A lot of people said, well wait, why am I pushing it in like that? Well, this area is protected.
I'm gonna go on like a backpack.
Okay. Push it in another.
Okay.
Hitch is the actual rotate your head up, rotate your head down, and roll.
If you want to hold this against your face, everything's clear. You can tighten it up. Is that good?
Yeah. And so if you want to take a nap right now, then, I'll try and make my best whale sounds. You can connect your inputs to what you see. And so I yaw before, let's go ahead and do yaw to the right. And when you put those inputs.
Remember it that way. Special fluids is kind of this orangey color. An example of this would be internal thermal cooling. Now there's one thing this doesn't have, that typically on most QDs like this, quick disconnects, we try not to touch them like this, because then we put finger oil, hand out on this. That's some rather used Velcro. So this is our in and out. And then we use these two ports here to outside of the bladder and the inside of the bucket.
Like the annulus.
Right. So you have, which would be, if you think about it, similar as a Schrader valve on a bicycle tube. All those different kinds of things. So all these different users that are on the purple bus, and what kind of water is in that purple bus? Both the condensator, the wastewater bus, and the potable bus, we have these.
So you'll hear how run line went. We're going to discuss every single grade you've gotten for the last 3 runs. Be so meticulous with your tether operations. I know you guys will again. So the goal was to make the last couple of runs really, really hard. You guys showed you do this tether routing. I just know this isn't going to work. Stop and fix it. Not only does that show. Any questions on expectations for this run? So you guys can go drop your bag, install the gas scanner, and then go get your APFRs. After that, You will be going out to the ATA, so that's going to be on the. I don't know if you're into it right now, so also you'll have it ready. At that point, all right, your egress is going to be a standard slingshot, so no surprise.
And follow-up question was on an existing cable that's completely different than NTA.
Yeah, so since this is a temporary thing, the NCGL is specific right there. But you will have to undo all the NTA now. And they would undo the real NTA because they stick out into the MT translation, so it will be acceptable. So you can just say like, hey, I'm putting this down for a minute, I'd like to come up, I will stop. Up their green hook right before the Sarge. So when you get to S3, there will be a full signal of the pathway. That makes sense? So just make sure you get hooked up to where we label in the morning. So that it's
Where's the QD connector going to be relatively located? I know the connector.
no advance.
There's a lot.
So you'll have to simulate that.
No debris, no damage.
Verify female QD you're ready to mate. Check D10 button up.
Didn't button up. Didn't button pressed. Bed fall position.
Check F and visible.
So this flowed all the IAs before you guys started, and I mentioned MTRA and like every like veteran group. All right.
Digitally, I don't know if
I don't know how in depth you want to. Like, I want to take a look at it, but I almost feel like we'd be wasting time if we try and do this.
I think that's the install machine.
Do you think or no?
To do what? Sorry.
Like, do this entire thing if that's where.
Might as well, right?
Yeah. So is there any other thing that you prefer to do?
You need to press. This one here. Yeah, that's.
In the pool, some of the other ORUs seem to live out, protrude out of these and stuff, but this one doesn't seem to have anything.
One with the FCS is a small way, and the other way is lengthwise down that column. And so it pushes the MCF closer to the Q when it's lengthwise.
So you're saying this guy does not.
I'm going to ask them to do it. It's this.
Okay, down to we have an elbow pitch angle out of limit. So if we're commanding retreat or double pitch for separation, fly over the lab, verify hop that we're back and ready, and then hop back up, and really hop back to shoot. Let's see. And let Houston know. Very good. Okay. Here's for signals. M2, we will verify that free drift, where we have appropriate free drift conditions. Over to take off this with me.
This one, that one you can stick back to where it was. That's gonna let me know. Take the brakes off and verify off.
Okay. Brakes are commanded off, and we are in position hold.
All right, on the PCS, on the
Trigger icon is
all right, and then verify lead mode is auto capture.
lead mode is auto capture.
All right.
All right, I'm good to start the approach.
Copy. Cygnus is holding pretty steady.
That's the grinding an X.
Copy. .5 meters.
Go. Wait till the brakes go on.
It's better to do it that way, but it's not on the cue card. Don't forget, it's not going to hurt.
Okay. All right, well, that's good to know.
Right through that.
There you go. Button her up.
All right. Just like that.
I can help you. Necessary?
Don't come straight up. When you go to get up, you're going down the chair and like this, you're around your backside.
I know, that's a nice
Okay,
design.
ready? Go for it.
There you go.
Push your
Feel
arm.
good. Reach down there and grab that zipper. I can put the boots on.
There you go, slowly.
Okay. Up,
Now
totally up
can
to
you
you.
grab the, kind of wrap it around the backside? All right, now reach the bladder too much.
Oh, this has got to come out like this.
Take it back off.
It'll make it easier for everybody.
Pull on.
You ready for the picture?
Yes.
The guy?
Yes.
Lean forward just a little.
Yeah, but I don't want to. They're gonna practice putting them on. Yeah, we'll
Okay.
We'll say, we'll say CDR FTC comp check, and then just acknowledge that with a CDR PLT MS1, MS2, instead of us having to cause it out every single time both ways. So CDR loud and clear.
This, get out. Yeah.
Did you not have that connected?
Yeah, I just did that first.
Oh, you didn't have it. I wasn't sure if it was going to get too cold.
No, not at all. It was
You
not
can
too
also
cold.
disconnect. That's true.
Can't do this. And then advisor's off. Sorry.
That's why we were saying nobody should do like spacewalks.
He was telling us, he thinks the same way I did. It takes him like
older vehicles had a large yaw maneuver that they would perform during green.
Black means they're not available. Green means they're available.
Right, so available. But you had any robotic screening?
Just the basic.
The basic, okay.
I haven't been to
Yeah, that's fine. It's not a prerequisite for today or anything. This picture, but camera 8 is right here, the P1 upper outboard camera. And then once we get that done, so we've already been in this procedure earlier in the day. Steps 1 and 2, start looking at the Cygnus backaway cue card. Yes, on this side. This one is not normally in the cupola, but the day or so before a vehicle arrives, and you can see all the buttons with their protective little plastic covers that go over all those buttons.
How do you lift them?
You just pull up from the bottom up there. But this, if we look at our display, I'm going to get the lights down here.
It looks like it's just hanging there.
It says mode hold
Yep. Sure.
on the left there.
Yep. Leave
Oh,
mode
okay.
hold. And then, yeah, looking at
Step. Verify visiting vehicle mode. Report primary range to MCC Houston if desired.
It's really easy. You just hit
Switch places.
Sure.
Okay. You are going to.
Sure. So anytime it has one of these blocks in here with camera information, it always mentions the PCS page, the camera calibration commands that we go through a procedure a day or two before to try to make sure our pan and tilt values don't have any errors in them.
Then we go to MSS, SSRMS, MSS Safing.
Opening.
All. Review 2.101 Cygnus backaway cue card from MCC.
Over the pin. So it's a list of a bunch of failures there. And then the 2 columns to the right and the minimum range there, 1.5 meters. In a little bit we'll talk about how you can tell when you're at that distance, but that's kind of the range we want closer to ISS, because we're not ready for step 4 yet. We still have to bring the vehicle from 30 meters down to the capture point. 30 meters is not that far away, really. So it's just the outline of the vehicle and everything. Those are very dependent on the data coming from Cygnus. And so it's just worth saying, hey, here's the bottom right corner. There's some additional corridor information there.
The dots in the center of the nested portals.
Verify no exceeding limits, violations displayed.
I see no exceeding violations.
Miscapture tracking setup on MCC Houston go for capture sequence. If contingency following go for capture.
I see the blue.
Okay, verify SR is locked.
The shoulder roll joint is locked.
MSS.
Command confirm. Trigger's not hot. Wait for the icon. I see the icon.
Copy.
Preview click.
Okay.
So on the visiting vehicle, on the auto attitude control, hand over to US.
Okay, it is for.
In the ISS attitude control section, look for DSAT request inhibit and command that.
DSAT request.
Verify DSAT.
Minus command panel window.
Verify free drift arm is.
Send the free drift command.
Okay.
Now we need to make sure that we see it flashing here, but then also the mode change on.
All right. Got it.
Read it to him.
Make sure your elbow's in a good spot for me. All right. We're just waiting on the leakage so we can lock him up, okay?
The moleskin pads were in my green sack, and last time.
We weren't up there.
Thank you. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna pull it in just a little bit if you can. All right, pull it in.
Pulling in.
Mess up my hair.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Chin straps, okay? You tell me.
Probably a hair tighter.
Hair tighter, okay.
Hold it out straight, and I can't remember. Do you like your elbow down underneath or up top?
It goes down,
Down?
back, then over.
Okay,
Like
perfect.
Rick Linehan, if you ever
Yes.
worked with him.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I will put it back just like that.
Ewan, I'm ready whenever.
Okay. You want to check the arms? All right, I knew I'm going to start off in the back and I'll work my way on your nose. Go ahead and
I'm having some difficulty taking this thing out of here. There it is.
Yeah, because it's pressurized.
Hold on.
I gotta get the crew in here. Alright, there it goes. The good work. Loopy.
All right, so what is stress? It is the reaction to an internal or external stimuli, all right, that will experience some type of shock, okay? That is that moment of inaction. That is that freeze point, all right, in that situation.
Have a whole bunch of people stuck on top of roofs, right? Well, Mike, being a former Royal Navy guy, knew his way around knots. And he ended up having his neighbors go out and kind of scavenge up some bits, tighten it, and kind of get it nice and neat. All right, that's just going to help create, help keep us from having undue stress on that rope or any undue friction that we don't want. Because any of that extra friction, all that's going to do is weaken our rope. You guys got space boots probably, so I don't know what kind of retention system you're using. From there, we take our left, go over our right. All right, from there we should have our two really moving interlocking bites, just like that. All right, our overhand knots are good. Got some sort of graining on here, so let's see what we get wrong.
So, what the right?
Yep, go ahead and undo it, and we'll kind of go through. Man.
Thanks.
Looks good.
I do second knots.
No second knots. Looks good. There you go. Close pitch. That's it. It's like you've tied a clove hitch before or something, ma'am.
About 2 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, you got snow clove and regular clove hitch going on. But eventually it'll pop free. Keep on shaking it, and off you go. Alright, now it's going to probably be a lot harder to shake those ones free, but trust me, it does work. Alright, so you guys can go ahead and grab your cordage and we'll go ahead and do it one more time. Or we'll do it a couple more times. I'm going to take my bite, lay it on my ridge pole, keeping it nice and loose. I'm going to take my hand, go through the bite, grabbing my two working ends, hold them through.
The clover also has.
Bam! Looks good.
This little loop on a bike.
Yep.
All right. That's how you recognize you tied it right.
Good call. Yeah. Underneath my ridge pole, creating this A gap, kind of like with our clove hitch, right? We can create that A gap. From here, I'm going to go through that gap 2 times. 1.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And 2.
Like you've done this before.
I remember the square now, huh?
Okay, now you said ball line?
The second one, like, you go like, so twice. This one?
It always
the
kind
third
of helps
one.
to have the Y right here.
What was the second? And 5. See, it's backwards.
See, that's why I didn't go.
That's,
I went.
right, it's wrong.
Yeah, that's what I kept.
Oh, you're doing it out?
Almost. Just gotta flip
So make one.
3 was the.
So I'm going to put just a little bit of water in there. That way, as that water moves around, it's going to melt that snow. If we just pack it in there, what? All right. So seepage well, beach well. All right. This seepage well in this area, in this environment, very effective.
So who's gonna drink it?
Jump on it. Now, this is an example. Now,
will not be unless you land on Mars, you know, and you got the guys coming after you. And so that's normally the acronym that we use for a semi to non-permissive environment. So go back another 25. All right. So now that we've talked about bliss, just for kind of a reference for you, if you ever do have to get stuff out, so we can get out of the rain really quick. All right. If you can't. All right. So what's our angle?
45 to 60.
45 to 60. Good. So. That's it. And that's my class, y'all.
Joe disappears.
Yeah, there you go. Next time I'm gonna do that. All right. Another common item that we have means from plants. The yucca plant actually has its own soap in it. So do dandelions.
things like that. You can use grease, from your body even. This is also an area for, snowy conditions and things like that, because what is it creating in there? A nice bowl to hold my coals in and keeping them hot and off the ground, okay? So over here, I might have a nice coal bed going, okay? Over here is where I'm gonna have my flame for heat, for people to sit around to stay warm, and I'm just slowly raking those coals back over this way. It'll... Hey, that's good.
Magic! I love it.
Just like that. Times the distance using my fingers. Southerly landmark. But if I do see the cross, these 2 pointer stars, I'm going to use the main beam right here, those 2 pointer stars, and I can see that illuminated line, and as long as I'm walking and keeping it together, all right, I'll be good to go. All right. That is when we're going to take a nap and rest during the hottest part of the day, okay? And that is going to become our internal clock, all right, to help us survival plan and do what we need to do at the specific times we do it. And that just adds regimen into that long survival situation, okay? How often does this need to be reassessed? Down, with rucksacks and equipment and stuff like that. So even little deviations from here to here, dang, from here to here, that's things 600 kilometers, 800 kilometers almost, or 800 meters almost, so.
You see where it's kind of, you can almost see through it, right? It's real clear. Right in there, that's what you're looking for. If you turn it over, hold the knife just like that, right there. Go ahead. Now, move that hand. I just want you to hold the knife right about there. So I'm just finding an edge there, and then all right, and I'm going to split off. Again, I'm just trying to raise it.
76.
That will take you to that corner.
Yeah.
So you have to add a little bit to it.
Yeah, definitely 5 seconds. Blow it off, put it on there, you're good.
Are there pros and cons to each strategy? Like flat versus at an angle?
The flat will give you obviously more.
Come on, buddy.
5 minutes and 41 seconds. No, I'm serious.
I like the enthusiasm.
Oh, there you go, there you go. Third strike.
Look at that.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. Good and and then once I feel I can get back towards that, which is about X amount of feet, I can just keep on looking.
Yep.
That sounds even cooler.
Just cost more.
Yeah, it's between those two trees. All right. So this is called the box method, right? So at this point, we would go ahead and
Getting that single tall tree diagonally across the field. You guys
right on.
concur?
So yeah, if you got that picked out, you can put your compass away, keep eyes on it, and just head at it and count your pace
I
count.
agree. I see it. The one.
This appointed to be parallel.
This guy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Great. So, all right.
So, with knowing our location, knowing how we got our azimuth to the next location that we're going to, we can build on that. We can put our pace.
You set that to north, and that's always going to be, that way if you're land naving at night or
At
something,
night, yeah,
you can just
alright.
match up the and the glowy points.
Okay. And now I want to move to
To
355.
Or 351. If we
Right,
want,
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. But-
Okay.
And then
Get you another compass. His was actually pretty accurate with the rest of them over here. Hey, right. And
Can you just subtract it, or
You could,
okay.
but when you're in that tired, degraded state, trying to constantly do like the math in your head, if you can just switch it out one for one.
Yeah, I think the 16 Romeo is like an 8x6 degree square, like it's big, and then it.
Give it that smell. Yeah. So we've now identified that we found this big old log of pitch.
Oh wow.
Yeah, right. And this, if there are pine trees, if you're in an area where there are pine trees, there's pitch, right? And like you guys together, figure out where you want to place it. And I'll just kind of watch your process and make sure that you guys are on the straight and narrow. If you need it.
Why here? Also, if we need it. What do you think right here? Fairly flat. Or over here is pretty good.
Yeah. Water jumps on station up in Alaska. Obviously, we wait until summer to do that. But we were right in Anchorage, so we had the Nick Sound right there. And even during the winter, the green light in the aircraft and the green light comes on and starts sending jumpers out. And the green light would come on, and that
got a
little
taller
jumper
one
is
here.
always still over water when they get the green light. So it's like, okay, I guess we're going.
You know that you could like take your feet can and
Yeah. You'll be surprised at what kind of crap you can find just out in the woods in the middle of nowhere too.
Man, for trapped everyone on the planet. Which is great as a survivor, right?
There's Tracy Wilson. She was on the second season of The One.
There you go, pull it. There you go. Now do it the other way. Okay, yeah, now pull it back this way. Just want to twist on you out here, I'll help you out. Ready? There you go.
Boom.
Yay.
Solid.
There's like 6 people in a shelter.
Yes, trust me, we got plenty of tough piles there.
So they all take a roll downhill.
Don't you worry.
No,
It was not comfortable, but it happened.
So to make it a two-person tent, would you need your wife to be
Taller.
taller?
Yeah, just.
That's pretty good.
go to your third camp.
There we go. Bam.
I was trying to pull actually.
So you guys can kind of see how that smoke, that signal fire actually really helped elevate that smoke.
Without your hand going like this.
Yeah. Keep the spoon held.
There you go.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right.
3, 2, 1.
Wind change.
Hey, go this way.
And I didn't really tie this one super great. I don't think I'm fitting into that one, right? So for me, I'd probably just go with that overhand knot, all right? But whatever night. All right, so with the rope, once again, we always want to make.
Well, I guess there's no readjusting it. You just kind of.
It's kind of hard to readjust it at that point. Yeah, I feel. Well, me personally, you'll just have to figure out what kind of wood's growing in your area and what works best.
To find a better edge on it, you just work yourself around. And that right there is enough. Watch your finger, because it'll work your fingers. You drop that in. Well,
Once you kind of get it dug out, you get to where it'll move freely in the hole. There you go. See if I can get this rope forward. Yeah, it actually.
What looks like a small little explosion of the sparks.
All right, now you just
You
gotta
can
hold
place
it.
the charcoal either underneath or at the very top of this, and the whole goal is to try and catch one of them small little embers on that charcoal.
You ready? Okay. I'm gonna retighten this for you. Like I said, I like my string.
Yeah, preferably a sharp edge. But
When you start seeing that smoke, you gotta keep on going.
You don't have to blow on it.
yeah, just be very careful if you do that. Yep.
Our Mayday call. All right, when we get on the radio and we say Mayday, 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 whatever your call sign is, and for us in the military, that recovery site isn't named and marked as a recovery site until the reintegration process is over. Aircraft at that level, but I do know on a rotary wing level or C-130 level.
Well, I mean, we kind of know the scale, but so. Yeah, so the variation, I don't think it's
It's the same.
150. The degrees is a little bit more, but.
Right.
So.
The triangle with
triangle and then throw me on it, and then you drag.
The triangle and then tie her to that.
Yeah. Okay, so that's 2. Then 3, we'll use the string for your arm.
String, or you can use my belt. I can just drop my belt.
It hurt a lot.
I mean,
Do we have to do it?
It might cut your.
we could also, failing that, we could just literally just take
I'm
off his
fine with
jacket, right? We can just take off his jacket and use his sleeve, right? Not actually cut it, but like. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go.
Okay. You're right. You're right.
All right, let's do it. Okay, we're going. We're going.
You can do it. I know you can.
So we're looking for some wood
But where are we gonna?
Yeah. This is a little bit rock.
I'll bring the cup for the slurry.
Oh,
Yeah, let me carry something.
How do you guys learn about the carry your,
No.
you're like
Throwing that.
Oh,
he's so upset.
2/3 charcoal, 1/3. Toggle, yeah. So you can just leave that rope there, right, and just pop that toggle off because the side's loose.
Select the black one.
Does anyone know?
We lifted a few inches. Just very lifted, very low. Just a few inches, yeah. And we can, you want somebody else to get on the other side to stabilize? No, go to the other side that way in case it rolls. Yeah.
Lift it a couple.
Just a few inches. Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2. That's enough. That's good.
Yeah. I would use a snare. You okay? We cut this.
You gotta sit. You broke your leg, right? Are these the ones you're gonna do? Yeah. You guys wanna go?
UAV building, like, yeah. So mine.